Listen, I have an idea.
It's how I feel when you make lemonade. Whatever today has given you. 511 headaches, still call it Thanksgiving. True.
Welcome to another edition of the Super Duper Podcast. I'm your host, Rob Griggs, here with the super producer back from vacation, Ez McMahon.
Yes. What's going on, Rob? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I am doing very well. Rested.
Hey, and clearly, we can't skip a pod because after our, since our last pod, we've had bombings in Israel. They ousted the Speaker of the House.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Can't find a new Speaker of the House.
Can't find one. Then the free Palestine protests, Trump wilding. You know what I'm saying? It's so clearly we got to keep the pod every week. I mean, that's just clearly
a lot going on out there, man. They know we need the content. So
absolutely, there ain't nobody to MC this thing. Jeez Louise. But thank you for checking out the Super Duper Podcast. We do not take your listens lightly. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Super Duper Pod, SUPADUPAPOD, and on socials of the same, SUPADUPAPOD. Also follow us online at HP53productions.com for our merch and also additional content such as the Father Good Podcast and the Easy Smoke and GM Podcast with our own Ez McMahon. NBA season starting soon, brother. Yes, sir. I know you
it
don't
is.
care. I know you don't care.
I really don't.
I know.
I actually saw while I was in Portland. I saw some of the Phoenix Suns getting ready for their preseason game. They were hopping on a bus to head over to wherever the Portland Trailblazers play. I don't know what stadium that is, but yeah,
so that's not the Rose Garden. That's old.
It might be the Rose.
Man.
Well, I don't know.
That
wasn't a part of the trip, so we didn't see any basketball. Yeah.
Mrs. was like, no.
She did let me go see. We went to a CFL game, Canadian Football League game.
Look at that.
So that was cool. So she gave me a little bit of time to go watch some sports.
Shout out to the missus.
She let me go off by myself and watch the Bears game, the Thursday night game against Washington. So I got a little sports here.
That's good. Good stuff, man. But make sure you follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Again, Super Duper Pod, Easy Smoke, and the GM. So as we'll jump right into it, man. Again, welcome back, my man.
Yes, sir.
So this Saturday it's a very special day. It's Sweetest Day. Are you a big Sweetest Day guy? Do you even care?
I don't care. No.
Am I getting you in trouble by putting this out there in the atmosphere? Okay. That
we don't really, honestly, we don't really celebrate either day. So
dang, bro. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We celebrate it every day, so it's not.
Excuse me. Yes, okay, Lucius. Yes. Pimp.
Yes.
Pimp Easy. My bad. Okay. You got rose petals all over the house.
That's right.
That's how you live.
That's right.
Lies.
Lavender scented. Yes.
Okay.
We got chocolates.
Now, one of these pies be recorded late.
Flowers,
you have a busy day,
roses
brother.
every day. All that stuff, man. Yes.
Well, for the rest of us, some wanksters. So Sweetest Day is every third Saturday in October. And, I always thought it was like the guys, because clearly Valentine's Day is for ladies. Like, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a wow. And so Sweetest Day was supposed to be for men, but that's why you don't hear about it much, because it's for men. And so, that's that. We end up still having to give out some Sweetest Day, but Sweetest Day is a holiday celebrated in the Midwest and in parts of northeastern United States, in Arizona and in Florida on the third Saturday in October.
How did it skip over everywhere else?
Listen again. This is a problem.
That's why I don't celebrate it.
See, it's a day to share romantic deeds or expressions and acts of charity and kindness. So they got you just doing all kind of stuff. Valentine's Day is clearly you better give me a gift. You better give me some flowers. I better get some candy. Proposals, all kind of stuff. Sweetest Day is like, here's a box of candy. So it's been referred to as a Hallmark holiday or concocted promotion created by the candy industry solely to increase the sales of sweets. But that's usually most holidays. That's as as we most know it. So the first Sweetest Day was on October 10th, 1921 in Cleveland of all places. States the first Sweetest Day was planned by a committee of 12 confectioners chaired by candy maker C. Hartzell. And the Sweetest Day in the Year committee distributed over 20,000 boxes of candies to newsboys, orphans, old folks,
Okay,
and the
so
poor in Cleveland.
It was a hustle.
It was a hustle. They were trying to get this candy out, the old guerrilla marketing in the 20. It's like, yeah, see, we're gonna sell us candy. See, yeah. Look at here, Mark. I get this candy out here. See? So like we're back in the 20s, man. And so I think, this is like, so it's proclaimed to be pretty much, you're right, it's like the National Confectioners Association launched a movement throughout the candy industry to rank Sweetest Day with the nationally accepted Mother's Day, Father's Day, and St. Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So, growing up in Chicago, Sweetest Day, especially when we were like in high school, it was a big deal, right? You had to kind of remember Sweetest Day. But I remember, so in college, as a young lady, I had a fancy on, I won't say her name, but we still cool. We cool to this day. And so she was not from Chicago. I went to school in Massachusetts. So I'm thinking, oh man, Sweetest Day. Let me go get these candies, get this envelope, do what I got to do. You know what I mean? I make a little note, why, give it to her. And she was like, "What Sweetest Day, Rob?" I went, "Come on! I could have saved this money. I could have saved this gift. I could have saved this rap." I was like, "What you get for being smart, Rob? Smarty yachty." Yeah, see. So I was like, she was like, "Yeah. It's a day in Chicago that we celebrate." She was like, "I mean, I never heard of it, but this is cute." And I was like, I'm out.
Blame the candy makers, man.
Yeah, it's the National Confectioners. Yeah, see.
That's messed up.
I'm doing that for the rest of the day. Yeah, see. Got these coppers.
I had to run from the coppers.
Yeah, coppers. Yeah.
Here's what crazy though. So Halloween was around at that point, 1920s, right?
Right.
I wasn't here, but I'm just,
you just taking a guess. Taking a guess.
Why wouldn't they have pushed that holiday like to, I don't know, May or June?
And I'm
just to spread out, because with Halloween coming, people were buying candy. I'm assuming candy was a big thing back then, right? For Halloween. So
yeah,
just to spread out the revenue, right?
Well, you got to figure out. They probably thought it was already spread. Maybe they felt it was. This is probably it. They felt like October, because you bring up a good point. Because Halloween candy, and maybe we had to probably look up Halloween, but maybe the whole candy thing is newer for Halloween, right? Maybe it was,
okay, all right,
maybe something. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think that might be. We know it as a long tradition, but have people always been trick or treating outside like that? I mean, but it's always been Valentine's Day candy, right? And as they talk about it, you got Mother's Day, right? So that's sort of front of the year is kind of taken up with these two major holidays, and then you're not really eating candy like you sell like candy like that in the summer. So in the fall, outside of maybe Christmas candy, right? You kind of had a lull. You see what I'm saying? So maybe they figured. So that it probably was a quarter thing if I'm thinking about it, because that's the beginning of the fourth quarter. Yeah, so that's all I'm thinking.
So they needed to make up for some revenues and going into the fourth and
and just prep for the upcoming year. Maybe they testing out candies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, see, they don't know what this candy is. See, jeez, man.
Oh man.
But not well. So in 1940, another Sweetest Day was proclaimed on October 19th. The promotional event was marked by the distribution of more than 10,000 boxes of candy by the Sweetest Day Committee. The candy was distributed among 26 local charities. 225 children were given the candy in the chapel at the Society Prevention of Cruelty to Children. Oh, wow. On October 17th, 600 boxes of candy were also delivered to the presidents of the Jewish, Protestant, and Catholic Big Sister groups of New York. But according to the wiki, man, this was just made by the candy makers. Jeez. But yeah, it's definitely a Midwest thing, man. So, but I still think it's a good day. I think anytime that you can, if you have a loved one, as people you really care about, it's good to get them a little something just to, I mean, even though we were joking about it earlier, as you said in your Bill Right voice, we celebrate it every day. Yet I think taking out the time to acknowledge they're like this. It never hurts, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling somebody this other day how, you know, in business school they teach you customer acquisition is way more expensive than customer retention. Meaning, to get a new customer, you got to spend a whole lot of money, right? Do a whole lot of stuff to get them to stick with you. But when you got somebody buying your stuff and they're your customer, it doesn't take a lot to keep them coming, right? To keep phrasing, it doesn't take a lot to keep them on board, right? So in a relationship, customer acquisition, right? How you got this person. You were sweet as you could be. You were thoughtful. You were leaving notes. You were always on time. Always had your hair cut. Always had your hair done, right? You did all that to get somebody. And so when you have them, as we said, customer retention isn't expensive, right?
That's why I don't really celebrate it, because man.
Well, trust me, I ain't saying don't do nothing. Don't misquote my words.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is you don't have to do as much as you didn't act, and that does. And I'm not saying you don't have to give enough effort, but it's like to show someone that who you are in a relationship with, that you care about them. You can do that on a smaller scale, just more consistently, just showing the effort. They're like, you know, I know we've been together for X amount of however long, but this still small thing. It's Sweetest Day. I didn't forget about you. I'm thinking about you. Here's a box of candy because you are my sweetheart on said Sweetest Day. So, you know, if you in Chicago, just run by the store on Friday. It's trust me, gonna be boxes of candy. You're already ready to go. Buy a nice little card, write your sweetheart a name.
Go to the young black owned candy store. I don't know where that is, but
the one that's super expensive. That one?
I didn't say that.
Don't mean to be jeez, I know exactly what we're talking
but
about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I took the kids in there. I was like, never see me again. Walgreens, here I come, Jack.
Oh, it's good though. It's good. It's good candy.
So I did make this
chocolate.
So when I was writing out the notes for the pod, I was like, you know, men be starved for gifts though, like, cause sometimes it's gonna get me canceled. Women on some of these Valentine's Day or Sweetest Days, they give sex as gifts. It's like, hold on, I mean that's great. That's great. Can I get these Jordans though? On top of that. Oh, you straight? That's all the gift you need? That's all the gift you need, ass? Okay, brother.
I didn't say nothing.
Give me some Jordans. Give me some Jordans, man. I mean, on top of you know the extracurriculars.
I get tangible gifts can be good, but some other gifts can be good too. You know?
Yo, Ed, you are on your berry white today, brother. Okay, I ain't mad at you. You know, back from vacation, you feeling yourself. I ain't mad at you, fam. So listen, as while you were out, so I don't know if I told you, man. I decided I'm gonna slow up my my Instagram consumption, man. It's getting out of hand. It's getting out of control.
Yeah,
get out of control. But before I did this, I saw something called the 75 Hard Challenge. Have you ever heard of this?
No, never.
So I actually saw it from an Instagram post. It was a woman who was exercising outside, and she was like, "I'm doing 75 hard," and I was like, "Okay." That's a weird name, but what is it? What is it called? It's a TikTok hashtag 75 Hard Challenge, has over 1 billion views, and it's created by a guy named Andy Frisella.
Okay.
So the rules of the 75. So it's like it's a more fitness challenge. It's relatively simple but extreme. So you must complete 5 daily tasks for 75 consecutive days without fail. So these tasks include drinking a gallon of water.
Okay.
Working out twice a day.
2 days.
Yeah. Sticking to any structured diet. So, you know, you determine the diet, but you got to stick to it. Whatever that diet is.
So
you
three Big
it.
Macs a day. I can stick to that.
I'm just gonna look over that statement. So read 10 pages of a book and taking a progress photo every day. Now here's the trick. If you slip up, you have to start again. So like so if you get to day 70 and you don't drink your water, you have to go back to day over. 1. Yeah. And so the whole thing was like, you know, it may seem harsh, but like this strictness, this can be motivating. And the person who created, his thought was more, you know, it doesn't hurt you. And even some extras, like it doesn't really hurt your body to do something like this. With the exercise, you have to do 45-minute sessions twice per day, and one of them has to be outside, no matter the weather. And so the whole point of the
what if you live in the northern climate.
Then you got to figure out, you got to do your 75 in a certain time of year, or you just have to take a walk in the wintry mix. So, that's something. So,
Okay.
and he was saying he did this because he's like, people give up on their challenges because something gets hard. Phrasing, something is like, becomes inconvenient, becomes difficult, so they don't do it, right? And it's like, oh, the structured diet, there's no cheat meals or no alcohol allowed, but you can pick any diets you like. So I guess your Big Mac, if that's what you want to do, but you can't have any cheat meals, treats, or alcohol. So I'm assuming the Big Mac's probably out. And so,
yeah, if you can't have it,
yeah,
so you can't at all.
75 days, right? And
Right.
so the thing is, some
Dog
people
might be asking too much.
So, so people do this when people usually do 75 hard, that they want to get a big change, and they want to have something like this really go through it to make this change for them, because people just feel unmotivated or feel like they lack the structure to make a change like this. And like the people who go through it, it's like they feel like they break through that mental wall, or they kind of shake that thing that stops them from sticking to something. And again, the downsides, it really wasn't a lot of downsides. It was just more like, the only thing I read was from a health standpoint, from eating like after 75 days, what do you do then, right? It's like when a professional athlete stops working out. I mean, it's like they were working out so hard, they just can't keep up that workout regimen, so their body just doesn't look the same, right? They gain a lot of weight or what have you, because like they're just not going to keep up that same fitness routine. Like 2 a days or 75 days, you're gonna be a whole different person, right? So, but it's, again, it's not the whole thing is.
Well, I think the goal is to get used to it, and then you just keep continuing.
Exactly. It's like, you keep up some of these habits, man. So it had me thinking though, just about why is it so hard to stay disciplined, right? Like, how often do we say, you know what, I'm gonna stop eating this, or I'm gonna read every day, or you know what, I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. every day to do XYZ. And we don't, right? After maybe do it for a week, maybe do it for 10 days, right? Then that day, and you're tired, or something happens, and you just like, you know what, I'm out. And there's something that Kobe said, rest in peace, that I always think about, like keeping a promise to yourself, right? He would say if he made a promise to work out a certain way in the summer before the season, and if as he was working out, he determined it was like really hard, he's like, I can't go back. I made a promise to myself. And it's like a lot of times, as we don't even keep promises to ourselves, that sucks. You know what I'm saying? And this is not just like, I'm not talking at people. I do the very same thing. It's like, I'm gonna do this every day. And for whatever reason, I don't. And it's like, oh well, like, well, hold on, bro. Now, as if you said to me, yeah, I'm gonna produce your podcast. And then it's like next week, you're like, oh yeah, man, I mean some cereal. I had to call you next week, right? But hey, bro, forget you. But that's essentially what we do to ourselves. If you think about the greatest, right? Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Kobe, Beyonce, it's like they were able to keep whatever promises they made to themselves. That's why they are who they are. Because I'm a firm believer, it's like, you can do anything. I know we always tell children, you can do anything if you put your mind to it. And that's true. But I really think you can really do anything if you are consistently doing it, right? If you are just like day in, day out, doing this bit by bit, at some point you're going to become, it's like you said, the 75 hard, it'll just be part of your life. And then you'll be bigger, greater, faster, stronger, smarter, right? But it's like we don't see that part of it. Like it's like we give up. We want it all, but you have to sacrifice something. I think that's the other part of it too. It's like we want to have all the stuff. Like, okay, you want to lose weight, or you want to be faster, or you want to be smarter, that you got to give something up. And like the people in my name, Beyonce, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Kobe, like they determined some of these things over here are going to have to go. Now, that's not to say everything you had to sacrifice, like family or relationships. But if you're, for example, I'll say for me, I've been saying forever is all year actually. Oh yeah, I'm putting myself on Front Street, and I'm gonna get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? Because I think if I get up at 5, I can probably read my Bible, read a book, do whatever. Just be up early, like get a head start on work, stretch, anything, right? But man, I like watching stuff on demand late at night. Okay, man. And I'm sifting through Instagram, or I'm like just doing something just to be up. And I'm like, well, I'm up late, so there's no point of waking up early because that's stupid. So let me just stay, and then I'm up at 7, like, or 6:30. Like I should have got up at 5. And I do feel like, man, Rob, why can't you do what you say you're going to do in this particular instance, right? Because I mean, we do those things. Like we keep some promises. Like there's some things we got to do. We got to go to work. We got to take care of. But what about those parts in our lives that it's like, you want to do this great thing? Like, as I got to ask you, when was the last time? I hope you don't. I'm not trying to offend you with this question because I've thought about this too. Like, what's the last thing that you feel like you did that like really took a lot of effort? It took some sacrifice. It was like some days I don't really want to do this, but I'm gonna finish it. Like, what was the last thing you remember that you went through that process for yourself?
Hmm. That's a damn good question.
Right? Because when you think about it, and it's like the older you get, like when I was younger, I was always training for races, doing urban athlons. Like the last thing I could think of for myself was either learning how to salsa dance or the last time I did a triathlon. But that's like 2015, 2016. That's 7 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
I've never done the whole triathlon thing or the marathon or I don't know that I have.
Wow.
Honestly.
So you said against football team, maybe?
Go back to you can go back to when I was an athlete, playing football. Even then, I don't know that I was back then sacrificing all that much.
We gonna get these Big Macs? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I was, man. Because I mean, I needed to maintain weight at that point. So
but you see the point I'm getting at, right?
I hear you. Yeah.
It's like anything for the folks to listen. Like, think about that. What's the last thing that you did that took like real effort, real dedication, real sacrifice? It wasn't like it wasn't work. It's not family related. It's like you said, you know what? I want to do this thing. Like,
Right. You know what? There was a time I lost quite a bit of weight back in the mid 2000s. And so I dedicated myself to actually, working out every day. I was on a pretty strict diet, and it ended. I think I dropped something like 50 pounds, and
wow.
yeah, around like 2000, 2005, 2006, in that time.
Man, you was slim as I mean, we was hanging out, man.
Wait. You go back to some pictures, and you be like, oh,
I
wow.
probably understand. Yeah. I think so. If I'm thinking again, it was like 16, 17, 18. Yeah, like right before the pandemic. Yeah, it was like I wanted to get a certain muscle mass and size, right? So it was like, to your point, I went to the gym like 3 times a week. If you want to find me, that's where you could find me. You know what I'm saying? If you want to hang out, you can hang out with me after. Like, it was like my gym bag was always in my car.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you want to see me? This way I'm gonna be, or you gonna wait till I'm done. I'll take a shower. I'm taking a shower at the gym because it's like I want no excuse.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we don't give ourselves that many goals like that, especially when we get a little older. It's like, well, I have my time. I'm not going to do what, this, that, and the other. Because I'm going to tell you, man, I've been thinking more about this as I guess we and I have talked, but I've been going to physical therapy. I hurt my leg. I thought I busted my knee, but I had this quad injury.
Okay.
And it was like, you just they had to show me these new exercises to build the strength up in my quad. Cause in my mind, I had given up running. It was like, I'm 44. Who needs to run? It's like, actually, I do need to run. I need to run. You know what I'm saying? And so it was thinking, but it was easier to be like, you know what? I'm out. I'm out on running. I don't have to do it
Yeah.
because I knew it was going to be hard to get back to running. Right? It's like, oh, maybe I'll just be through with it. But once I got to still go physical therapy, these ladies, one shout out to the ladies of sports orthotherapy over here in Beverly because they mean in a nice way. Like I'm in there hollering, screaming, they just giggling. Like, nice first day. Thanks, ladies. But I mean the way they acting, they're gonna have me up and running. And so it's like, so what am I going to do with this, right? Am I just going to let this go away? And even we think about our own, like I know the biggest example is just like our fitness and our health, right? You know, we love to eat, you know, certain snacks or certain food because it's like it make you feel a certain way. But it's like if you left it alone and worked out, how much better you would be, right? But it's like we can't give up these small wins, these small pleasantries for the big wins. And that's like, so I look at the 75 challenge, the people are giving up the small pleasantries for a big win. Because imagine just how different you would be, not even doing this 75 hard, like you did a 75, whatever you did, 75 of reading a book, of reading out of a book every day, 75 of reading the news, right? 75 of not eating candy. Like, seriously, how much better you would be. But as you know, like I know, what we all do is like, after 3 days, I deserve a snack because I didn't eat this candy for 3 days.
Yep.
Or I'm gonna watch TV all night because I've been reading a book every day. It's like, and that is that really a win, right? Is that really a win? And guys, as I say this, I want you to be as thoughtful about this as I was, because really reading this challenges made me go, could I even do this? And this is not a hard, like truly, I read to you the challenge. That's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? It ain't tell you what type of workout to do. The outside workout could be 45 minutes of walking.
Didn't tell
You know
you
what I'm saying?
what the diet was.
They tell you what the diet was. Just had to be some structured diet. But you know what you should probably, you know, eat less of it. You know, ain't nobody got to tell you that. You know what you should be eating less of. And 75 days really is 6 weeks. Like that's nothing. That's nothing. That's half the summer. You know what I'm saying?
What if there was a 75 soft?
I should see my face. But go ahead, explain. 75
No,
soft.
I just threw it out there. You know,
So
maybe
what does that mean?
Maybe a half a gallon of water and, you know, one workout. And
okay,
I can have some drinks every once in a while.
Yeah, so we're not soft around here.
I'm just saying, you know.
I'm with you.
But no, 75. The way you broke it down right there. Yeah, it's really not that hard.
It's really not that hard. But I think that's the point of what the Mr. Frisella was saying. He was like, we can make so many excuses to make it easier for ourselves. Like, you know, your suggestion, 75 soft phrasing. It's just, you know.
Actually, there is a 75 soft challenge.
Oh, that's from a sucker. What does it say? That's sucker MC.
Let me pull it up here. Let's see.
Get out of here. 75 soft.
The 75 soft says,
do what you want to do. It's okay.
Eat well and only drink on social occasions.
See, no.
Train for 45 minutes every day with 1 day a week for active recovery. Drink 3 liters of water a day.
I'll be so mad. Mr. Frisella is just, all right, go slap then. That's from Health. I said from Health Magazine. Is that what you're looking at?
And read 10 pages of any book a day. I'm getting this from, what is this? sunnyhealthfitness.com.
Hey, man. Still, I roll with Mr. Frisella, right?
Sydney Buckert.
I roll Mr. Frisella. Because seriously, either way, right? Soft or hard. Well, you know which one she likes. Hope my mama don't hear this episode.
She might.
Oh God, Mom, I'm sorry. But no, but I think, but the main thought, no matter the challenge, it's still some stick-to-itiveness that we unfortunately lack as people, and that we find reasons to quit and change. And it's like, do you want this goal hard enough? You know, my mother would say a lot to me. She's like, you know, how bad do you want it? that'd be something that she would say, like to motivate herself, right? Just like my mom just is not computer literate, and she's better at it now. I give it to her. Like she's very savvy with her phone. But I remember there was a point she had a new computer at the house to set it up for, and I left. And I remember I called her the next morning, and she's like, Robbie, I was up all night trying to figure this computer. And I was like, why don't you just call me? No matter what time I came in the house. She said, but I had to do it for myself. I needed to know this. I worked on it. And it's like her stick. She could have just left it alone, called me. I'd have fixed it, but she wanted to know it for herself, right? And I feel like, we, like the example we used before. Oh, I've been good for 2 weeks. Let me just throw it all out the window because, because what we miss is that's actually a setback. Because if you've been good, it should be more like, I've been good for 2 weeks. Let's see if I can do 3, right? What you looking at? You found a 75 medium zone?
No.
Okay.
I'm thinking in my head, you're bringing that up. I'm thinking about a situation I was in.
Yeah.
I was working out hard, man. I was eating right, and somebody, he must have been the devil, came as I was leaving the gym, and I was like, hey, treat yourself. Don't work too hard. I was like, yeah, I can treat myself. And went and got some ribs, man. I always felt bad about that.
Ain't been right since.
I always felt bad. I was like, damn, I shouldn't have done that.
You was rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, because the thing is this, what we forget is that those cheap, like you could work out for a year, miss 2 weeks. And it's like you never was in the gym. You know what I'm saying? It just be like that.
Oh, we had a coach used to say you take your month to get in shape, but take 2 days to get out of shape.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But also to that point, things happen. None of us are like professional athletes where we have the whole day to just work out. But I still think there are times where, we can still keep up the routines, and it's not like an excuse to get it done, because these setbacks are real. You know what I'm saying? You've been eating good for weeks, and then you throw in a cheat meal. That's now your stomach toe up because you ain't been used to that. And now you're lethargic. Now you don't want to go nowhere. And now it's like, well, I might as well, I gave it up for nothing. Then you feel bad, and it's like, for what? And now you're back at it. And also, this is the other thing is, I think the 75, that number is a big number, but we don't do stuff unless we get immediate results. And sometimes real change takes a very, very long time. And I hope somebody's hearing me as I say this. Because, we do it for 2 weeks. It's like, I don't see nothing yet, right? You're not supposed to. Like, I Duolingo. I was doing that for 2 weeks. I'm like, hey, man, I can't talk. I can't speak Spanish like I want to yet. It's only 2 weeks, Rob. But what we doing? Right. Salsa dancing. It's like I was still tripping over myself. And just how I live is, I always, like when I get a new job or whatever, it's like everything's new. You don't know what stuff is, terms they're saying. And I always say to myself, Rob, in about a year, you won't know when it clicks. It's going to click naturally. You're going to look back and go, man, I remember when I didn't know any of this stuff, and now I do. And so but in our lives, we want the immediate results. And when we don't get them, we throw it. It's like, oh, this must not work. It's like, it has to work. Like you said, your coach said, it takes a month. Like it takes a long time to really get to where you want to be. So I encourage everybody, you don't necessarily do 75 hard or soft, but I think though I want you guys to really consider, what's the thing you've been saying I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this every whatever. It's not every day, but every series of days. What's this thing I'm gonna do? And ask yourself, why can't you do it? Because I bet your answer is really not when whatever answers you come up with, it won't be enough to stop you from doing it. All right. Like nothing should stop me from waking up at 5. Nothing should stop me from reading a book every day. Like a 10 page out of a book. That's actually very easy. I thought about it one day is I could read my Bible, read a book, do Duolingo, do drum practice. Like it was like 5 or 6 things I wrote down that I could have done like an hour. Right. And I'm on Instagram. Well, I used to be, because I'm changing my life. Instagram for 1:20. You know what I'm saying? I could have done all this other stuff, bro, and be a genius. but I'm just an Instagram fool. You know what I'm saying? Jeez. I know everything that's happening. You know, that's also too, like we want to know. So think about Beyonce a lot in terms of oh, before I move forward, shout out to my friend Dana who listened to the pod. Because on the last pod we talked about the Taylor Swift numbers, and she sent me like, hey, make it plain, bro. That you know what I'm saying, that they make it seem like Taylor Swift do killing, but Beyonce's tour is actually outgrossing Taylor Swift's. She
Okay.
was like, numbers don't lie.
I
So
don't.
shout out to Dana. You know, I mean, you know, we
I don't
talked
doubt
about
that.
it. Hey, we were like, you know, it's just different timelines, different pods to
Yeah.
listen to. Everybody make it seem like Taylor's out here number one, but shout out to B. What the point was I making before I got clearly off track? Oh, I think about the Beyonce off. Here we go. Well, I think about off for various reasons, but shout out to Beyonce. But one thing is like, you know, I doubt. I'm sure she has a team on social media, but like Beyonce is a culture mover, right? And not a culture like catch upper or follower, right? It's like it's not what's happening. It's more like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Y'all can do it if you want to, right? And I think that's a good mindset to have, like, because we're more like what's happening out there, and we're like reading and following and seeing, and oh, this is what they're doing. And the people who making the moves, they are making their own moves. They're not following their own things. And I think we should get again back into that social media. You know, I'm not trying to be old guy on the porch. And I think social media has a very positive aspect and attributes. But again, it makes us be followers and just like seeing what's going on when really like this Jada Pinkett Will Smith thing is everywhere, bro. And it's like we know that's a mess. Why are we still following that? You know what I'm saying? Is that helping you read better ads? Is that helping you get healthier?
No,
Nah,
not at all.
man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why anyone ain't, you know, we ain't open the pod with that. Cause for what? Right? What? That ain't moving us
Well, they
forward.
all they selling books, man.
Yeah,
All it's about.
that's what I'm saying. It's like you know what they own.
Yeah.
So you might as well get your life together. Because guess what they gonna be? Straight.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They gonna be cool. And you're gonna have both books still with a bad knee and a bad back, and you know, and you can't fit your clothes. You see what I'm
That's it.
saying?
That's
So you
it.
might as well, you know, so for people, I implore you to truly eat, and everybody has something different. You know, the thing that you've been wanting to do and wanting to try or wanting to really pay attention to, and for whatever reason you keep stopping yourself, I encourage you, think about the goal, and the goal is greater than whatever circumstances in your way, truly. And you know, and I'm of the mind too, the circumstances and those obstacles make you prove that you want it. It's like, how bad do you want it? It's cold outside, but I'm gonna get this walk in because I want what's on the other side of this exercise. So you know, check out again 75 hard. You can check that out, or your own kind of challenge for yourself. But I know you guys can do it. I'm gonna try to do it too. Maybe I'll share my list of what I'm gonna try to do next week since I'm gonna put it out there. So, but as before we get out of here, that's one thing I did want to mention. This has been on my mind for a while. For a while. So, and you guys know I talk about my children. I love them dearly. Talk about them often, and I mention that they have autism. And I don't really get into just like what goes on because you know I don't want to tell any business on the pod, and they get older and be mad at me. Why didn't you say that, Dad? But I do want to share this about my daughter Brooklyn, and she's been having a very tough time the last few months, and she's been just dealing with a lot, and she's been having some very aggressive and violent behaviors. And so it's been a uh significant issue for me, for her mom, and for her brothers, because we're just trying to figure out, you know, what's going on with her and trying to understand how to help her best, because there are some times where you don't know how Brooke is feeling. And we take her somewhere and she, you know, she's having a blast. She's smiling, she's laughing. But then there's those other days where she turned that thing out and she's fighting everybody in the place. And, you know, as her dad, I have to grab her and hold her a certain way to keep her from not just hurting me or her brothers or people she doesn't know, but hurting herself. Right. Because a lot of times when she has these outbursts and violent behaviors, it's because maybe we were going somewhere that she didn't know where we were going. Right. We're in the car, we're going a different way. To the point I have to have certain guards on my arms because she bites and scratches as I'm driving. Right. And I say all this to say, so we were in the store Saturday. Shout out to the fairy godmother, Miss Vanessa. Got them some Halloween costumes. And we've been doing this every year for 3 or 4 years. Miss Vanessa is the best. She buys a costume. That's her fairy godmother gift to the chipmunks. And we get in the store and Brooklyn just she said, go, right? She doesn't say a lot. Go. That means she wants to go back to the car. She was really upset. And you started bucking, moving. She pushed her brother Aiden into the racks of clothes. He knocks stuff off. So I have to grab her. And now she biting. I mean, she bit my arm, scratched my arms, bit my leg. It was wild. And I'm looking at the security camera, just like, okay, when they gonna call the police on me, right? Because, right. And the woman from the store comes around the corner and says to me, "Oh, I just wanted to make sure she was okay, that nobody was beating her up." So I go, why'd you say that? Right? And then I don't like talking about this much because I think a lot of times there's this competition between no, motherhood is harder or fatherhood is harder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the statements I'm about to make are not in relation to anybody's motherhood. This is just about fatherhood. Because I know there's been a lot of times that's not the first time somebody said something that's stupid to me outside with my children. Brooklyn has autism and plenty of instances where she's had episodes and I'm holding my arm out because it's like the only way to keep her calm is to let her gnaw and gnash at my arm so I can pay for the stuff and get the heck out of here.
Right.
And I've had women, older women come to me and say, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing. She just want her mama, right? You don't know what's happening." And I'm thinking ma'am, you don't even know what I'm dealing with right now, right? But it's like, why'd you pick me to come up and say that to? If I was a woman, would you have said that to me, right? And so there are times that when we're at the doctor's office, and it's like they're looking right at mom, and so I got to the point where I just wait until they go, "So, Dad, you have any offer?" "Actually, I do." And I turn the whole appointment out. And it's like, "Oh, sorry, Dad. Yeah, please apologize," right? And I know I don't talk about this much, but as I'm divorced, what I'm saying, their mom and I've been divorced since 2017. And the reason I don't bring it up often, and this is just the truth, I just admitted it this weekend because I didn't realize I was doing this, is because I like people to see me with my kids before I tell them I'm divorced. This is why. Because when people hear that I'm divorced, the automatic assumption is I don't see my kids a lot,
Mm-hmm.
right? They assume when I put the picture on Instagram, I just picked them up, put up a picture, and then dropped them off at Nana's house. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what I mean? And again, I know people do that, but that's not the boy. You understand? And so I'm very reluctant to even say that because I that's just the assumption I get. It's like, oh, y'all know what? So that it must mean you left, and this is the only time you get to see him. And quiet as kept, it's been false news about me in the street, but we're gonna leave that out, right? And if you know, right, about me and the chipmunks, right? So that I ain't got to prove that to nobody. And all this to say is, sometimes it just sucks, right? Because I'm all trying to figure out how to be the best dad I can be, fathers, children with special needs. Like that's a lot. It's a different ball of wax. Didn't see it coming. You know what I'm saying? It's still a challenge because it feels like every day is something. I feel like I'm getting to a point, things are cool, and now Brooklyn's coming off the rails. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I realized for me, as you guys have listened to the pod, I'm a very vulnerable person, and I don't mind sharing my struggles and challenges. I mean, you know, Ez famously saw me cry in Vegas, you know, because it's like, bruh, I can't do it. But the truth, and I'm thankful for the support that I have, you know, to my parents and my sisters, my niece, shout out to West and to all my friends, right, that have always looking out for me. But I realized that doesn't happen for a lot of guys, for a lot of dads, and they don't have a lot of places that they can talk to. You know, is when the triplets were born, and we in the hospital, and the nurse. I think I may have told this story in the pod before. The nurse came, and so social worker, not nurse, social worker came. Is dropped off all kind of literature about. Okay, mom, so we got this for you. Mom, got this for you. We got this, and then I said, "You got anything for me? I do have triplets as well." You know, and she said, "Oh, group. I can start my own group. Thank you, ma'am. Didn't think of that. Great. This is all the advice you give every man that comes up in here, you know? And I know a lot of times, like just for a guy, see, again, I'm blessed in having triplets, even though, you know, people, as hard as scary it is. But because I have triplets, I'm forced to be a hands-on dad, right? And a lot of relationships, a lot of parenthood partnerships, it's just expected the mom to do a lot of the heavy lifting. So the dad he has kind of a natural out that he takes. And I don't suggest that men do this, but it just happens, right? You know, I always say if a man was on a bus with a crying baby, people would just yell at him. If it was a woman on the bus, they'll give her advice, right? It'd just be like, and maybe I'd change. Maybe I'm being jaded, but I'm hoping that'd change. I'm saying, I know I'm talking. I'm like, what you getting to, Rob? Trust me, I'm getting to something. I know for me, I have a lot of support, but I know a lot of guys don't. And what they end up doing, man, is like they don't know who to talk to, how to talk about it, how to be vulnerable about it, how to deal with it, how to manage it, and they feel like it's just them, or you feel like you failing. Because here's the truth, you know, you can't come in the house always sad. That's how sometimes you feel, you know, and you can't say I'm sad or I don't have it, because the world says you're supposed to be the man of the house and lead this house. And in this, you know, if I'm not leading it this way, then I'm gonna get disrespected. Won't nobody check out for me. So what a lot of guys do, and I can attest to it, is end up crying in the car. Cause that's the only place, like it's you got your music, listen to what you want to, you know, depending on your job, your situation. You just be in that car driving, and you crying, praying, talking, whatever, calling yourself stupid. I messed this up. Why'd I do that? I should have. Right. And to be honest, as that's not always a healthy thing to do, because you were just talking to yourself. And a lot of times you just feel like you can't talk to anybody else. So what I am offering to men like me, you know, if you are a dad of a child with special needs, or you know, you just a dad and you feel like you struggling, you just want to make sure, ask questions of people who understand like you. I am going to start a Zoom call. We're going to do it the first Thursday of November. I think that is November. So it's Thursday, November 2nd. Okay. Do a Zoom call. Thursday, November 2nd. And the group is going to be called Stop Crying in the Car, because we got to stop crying in the car. All right. You got to get to it, to just knowing that there's a space of people that are supportive of each other. And this is not about like solving all its problems, just knowing that just a space to say you're not by yourself, man. So if you do me a favor, you can email me at stopcryinginthecar@gmail.com. See how I was shocked Gmail didn't somebody pick it up already, because it's genius. But stop crying in the car at gmail.com. If you are a woman, you know a man that might be thinking about this, have him email that email address. And I made a note about this on Facebook like a year ago, but as you just heard me explain, I ain't explained all life been life, but I know while I had a moment and a thought, I wanted to put this out there and just go, you know, set up a Zoom call and just you're gonna have your own, be it monthly or however this thing goes. Just check in. You can just sit on and listen. You can send questions via email. We can ask them in the chat. But I want to put that out there because this is serious. And, you know, we have to raise these children. We can only raise these children if we are sharpening our tools and we know who we are, because, you know, your kid has the stuff you've been dealing with all your life. And you can kind of give them the cheat code of how you dealt with it and how you got through it. But you got to know your issues yourself. And again, I'm asking you to join this group, but also go seek therapy as well, right? In addition, because you need to have a support group, but y'all need to do your own work on yourself. So that's something we will encourage. So stop crying in the car at gmail.com. Email your boy. First Thursday in November, putting it out there. It'd be a Zoom call, probably 7 p.m. Central Time. But yeah, I definitely am excited about this. And I want to make sure that I'm sending it out to everybody that wants to be a part of it. You know, if it's 4 people, if it's 40 people, you know, I don't care. I just want to put something there to help you guys. So I appreciate y'all letting me share this. And I thank you for checking out the Super Duper Pie. Is I miss anything?
No, I think you covered it all. You said it well.
Appreciate you, man. So thank you for checking out the Super Duper Pie. We do not take your listens lightly. Make sure you follow us on our socials at Super Duper Pie, SUPADUPAPOD, and online to HP53productions.com for additional content. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you from all over the country, all over the world, for listening to us and making us one of the best podcasts out there. Again, stop crying in the car at gmail.com. If you know a man that wants to be part of this, or you are a dad that wants to be part of this, we're glad to have you. And again, follow us on our socials, check everything out. God bless you. Take care of yourselves, like for real. Take care of yourselves and each other. This is the Super Duper Podcast.
That's champagne, real pain, champagne from you and I. Wait, you and I? Now that's champagne if you was I. Would you be off on this campaign? Is it suicide? If you know that bringing hope here is how careers die. Or do the K stand for kamikaze? The J silent is everywhere, you can feel them probably. Sugar, lately, I've been up late with demons in my basement trying to get me to hate this. Life thinking I should be further and then I choke up. As soon as I got silent, then the truth spoke up. It said, how you know you ain't perfect? Let that soak up and soak in. You know how you know that you blessed? I woke up.